Hey guys.
Hey.
Today we want to share 5 frameworks that will help you achieve your financial goals this year.
Yep, I'm Ken, an accountant, former CFO, entrepreneur and investor.
And I'm Mary, a marketer, a former business analyst and now business owner.
Together as a couple, we run the Humble Penny and Financial Joy Academy with the goal of helping you to take control of your finances, grow your money to one day achieve financial independence and joy.
Alright, let's dive straight in. So here are 5 frameworks that we recommend that you use to achieve your financial goals. Now we use this personally, so yeah, highly recommended.
Yep, the very first is our own framework that we created. We call it the POST framework, P-O-S-T. It's an acronym. The first letter in that acronym is the word P for purpose. This is your why. This is the why for your financial goals. Now with this, we'd say look closely at your current identity financially and think about who you want to become one day financially. So for example, you could be someone who today perhaps relies on your overdraft to get by, maybe relies on your credit cards to get by month on month. But one day you want to become somebody who never has any money worries, never has concerns or anxieties when it comes to money. Essentially, you want to create a compelling vision for yourself financially, which would then lead us to you creating your objectives.
So the next one is objectives. This is your what. What are the financial goals that you want to achieve this year and why? This needs to be connected to the purpose that Ken mentioned earlier. So these goals need to be SMART. I'm sure you heard this before. She's specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. An example of these SMART goals, which we have written down for you, is I want to have savings in my stocks and shares ISA of £20,000 by 31st of December 2023. Goal number 2, I want to make £1,000 extra per month from a side hustle by 30th of December 2023. Another goal, I want to get a 10k promotion at work by 31st of December 2023.
Very specific.
Very specific.
Now the S in the acronym POST stands for strategy. This is your how. How on earth are you actually going to achieve those SMART goals that Mary outlined? This could be that you focus, for example, you say to yourself, I'm going to work on my money habits, or I'm going to start myself a tried and tested side hustle, or I'm going to increase my savings rate so that I can save a bit more money on a monthly basis, and so on. Or even that you might try and work on getting a promotion at work and therefore earn more.
And the T in the POST acronym stands for tactics. This is your how exactly. And these are the small steps that you'll carry out daily to achieve your goals. And we're going to continue and talk about it further.
Okay, so now that we've covered that first framework, the POST framework, we're moving on to the second one, which is the 12-week year, based on the popular book, The 12-Week Year by the same name. Now, the idea behind this is that we want to move on from looking at our year as 12 months when it comes to our financial goals, but looking at it as 12 weeks instead. Okay, so where you'd have 1 month in each of the 12 months normally, each of the weeks in your 12-week year will represent a month essentially. And then you'd repeat this every 12 weeks going forwards. So to begin this process, let's outline the 3 goals that we've set ourselves. You would obviously set your own goals. We're using this as illustrations. So we'll put this back up on the screen for us to see. Now we want to show you what the 12-week year system actually looks like. Now we're going to be sharing a bunch of Google Sheets and documents that you can follow or replicate yourself. Feel free to pause them. You can create these yourself quite easily. Or if you're inside of our community at Financial Joy Academy, you can head over and download these within the community themselves.
So to start, we're going to take each of our 3 goals and assign 5 tactics to them. You will need to perform these tactics in order to achieve your goals. So we're going to put it up on the screen, an example for goal 1. Now goal 1 was I want to have savings on my stocks and shares ISA of £20,000 by 31st of December 2023. And in this very simple table, you've got the tactics for goal 1. On the first column, the week due, in the second column, and the due date on the last column. So goal 1, an example of a tactic is open a stocks and shares ISA with Vanguard. Week due is the first week in Jan, and that's the 3rd of January as the due date. Second, set up a standing order from current account to save and invest in a stocks and shares ISA. Again, you fill out the week due and a due date. Third, investigate a profitable side hustle to start with a due date of 8th of Jan. Fourth, start a side hustle to get coaching to start your side hustle, due date 16th of Jan. Finally, review current budget for areas of savings from non-essential spend with the due date of 30th of January. So you can see that this is very specific and measurable and time bound.
Yeah.
And you should then repeat the same process for your other two goals, which you have set yourself for that quarter.
So once you finish that bit that Mary said, taking each of your 3 goals and writing down your tactics, here up on the screen is a detailed example of what that could look like, okay? So you can see there, again, on a Google Sheet we've created, we've got there goal 1, stating the goal 2, stating goal in green, and goal 3, stating the goal in green as well. And then below each one are the segments. So you've got goals around savings, side hustle, and your job in this example specifically, and then the specific tactics from the example that Mary mentioned. And the second column is week, the week due. The third column is looking at the due date, very important. And finally, we've added an extra column for who's the owner of this task, right?
Yes.
Because you might be in a couple situation where one person needs to do something, another person might need to do something else, okay?
Yeah.
Again, this is very easy to recreate on Google Sheets, or you can grab our copy if you want. Now, up on the screen is the next bit, which is very important, because what we want to do now is take all those tasks and put them into another sheet that's essentially split by column over 12 weeks. So you're taking everything in week 1 and putting them on column 1 for week 1, everything in week 2 on column 2 for week 2, and so on. Now, the reason we're doing this is so that we are able to then create for ourselves a weekly plan.
Yes.
Because this gives us a steady focus. So we know for over 12 weeks, we know exactly what we're doing, who's doing it, and when it needs to be achieved. Okay, so you can see that again up on the screen. Feel free to pause it and take a closer look. Now, once you've got everything by week, the key is to focus on the week that matters. Yeah, so say you're on week 1, you'd focus specifically on week 1. You can see on that example that week 1 has 1, 2, 3, about 5 different tasks that need to be done and by various people. Okay, you would then take those 5 tasks and block them into your calendar.
Super powerful, important.
Yeah, we'd recommend using Google Calendar as a way to do this, but obviously use whichever calendar system you use, because it's only when you've blocked it in that you've then made an appointment with yourself to show up and then deliver that specific task.
Yeah.
And then you want to rinse and repeat that week by week for the 12 weeks that you are doing this.
Okay, so framework number 3 is the daily big 3. So here we're saying aim to complete around 3 tasks a day. Now, when we started out, we had around 10 tasks, but we soon realized that this was not realistic, and we kept beating ourselves up for not achieving those goals, kept rolling it over every day. And so we worked, we kept reducing the numbers, and we've 3 is a good number for us. Maximum of 3.
Yeah.
It's a good amount of tasks to have in a day to carry out. So for example, even though we said 3, this example is a maximum of 2. So the first task for the day is open up a stocks and shares ISA with Vanguard. Second task is set up a standing order from current account to save and invest in a stocks and shares ISA. So once this is done, you then mark it as complete on your planner. And this planner can actually be on a physical sheet of paper, because it's always good to just see it in front of you all the time, as well as the calendar blocking, which Ken mentioned, so that you can receive reminders and alerts of when your time is due for the next task to be carried out. So this simple way of looking at your tasks will help you to avoid overwhelm and burnout.
Framework number 4 is to track 3 to 5 habits weekly. So the goal here is to build habits that reinforce your desired identity. What you want to ask yourself is, what habits do I need to have in my life in order to achieve the financial goals that I am trying to aim for? Because certain habits and behaviors are keeping you where you are now financially, and you need certain other habits and behaviors to get to where you want to get to. Now, you can do this on a sheet of paper or in a planner, for example. We do ours in a planner, but nothing stops you from doing it on a simple sheet that you print out weekly. So up on the screen is a template that you can copy. It's a blank template. And again, we've filled out another, that specific template we just shared for you to take a look and see for yourself. So we've written down on the first column 4 different habits that one could potentially track. For example, waking up at 5 a.m. or putting 1 hour per day into a side hustle, or reviewing your bank account on Mondays and Fridays, and so on. And you see we've just written there bits where you've been able to achieve them, you can tick them off. Bits where you haven't achieved them, you can cross them out. And obviously, as we know from the science around habits, After about 3 weeks, around 25 days or so of doing this process, those habits that you're tracking then become a big part of who you are and your new identity.
So the final framework is to track results, review, and chat. Now, we all know the popular saying, what gets measured gets improved. Now, with your weekly plan, the goal is to track what percentage of your tasks you actually were able to complete each week. Now, the aim here is not to be perfect, but to focus on progress. And for some people, they use a scorecard to track their progress over the weeks and the months. This is something that we actually did as well when we got started. You can simply do a review at the end of the week of the task which you've set yourself and check what percentage of the tasks you actually completed. For example, if you had 5 tasks in the week and you completed 4 of them, then that's an 80% completion. The recommendation is that you should aim for around 75% completion, but don't beat yourself up about this. The goal is to just work on it each week to review and reflect. You might want to do that daily if that helps you. And during your reflection and review, you might ask yourself some questions like, did I assign myself too many tasks in that day? Was my environment not conducive for me to be able to carry out those tasks? What things do I need to put in place in order to make sure that I carry out those tasks that I set myself? You know, were there any distractions? And you can start to eliminate and adapt and until you have a rhythm that works for you and you're able to achieve your goals that you set for yourself. Finally, that point we said about chat, it really helps that you have somebody who you can be accountable towards. So that could be your partner, and if you don't have a partner, it could be a friend, a relative, or it could even be somebody in a community which you are part of where you all have similar goals that you've set yourself. So accountability is super important.
Now, overall, if we're to summarize this, achieving your financial goals requires a number of ingredients. The first is clarity of your vision and setting yourself smart goals. The second is using an effective system that means that you're able to have weekly plans that you actually stick to. For example, the 12-week year system that we shared with you guys earlier. The third is that you actually need to show up and execute, because without executing, all this has been a complete waste of time. And then the final thing is the tracking and accountability. As Mary mentioned earlier, what gets measured gets improved.
Guys, would love to hear from you in the comments. Which of these 5 frameworks will you be implementing to achieve your financial goals? Or which framework has worked for you, which you'd like to share? It'll be great to hear from you. Let us know in the comment section.
Yep, and if you enjoyed this video, we'd really appreciate it if you subscribed to our channel. Many people watch our channel, they enjoy our content, but they haven't subscribed. If you're one of those people, would really appreciate it. Okay, simply hit that subscribe button. It helps our channel to grow and reach many more people. And as we wrap up, as we like to keep things realistic on this channel, do make sure you have fun in this process. Don't take yourself too seriously as you do these various tasks. Ensure you have certain rewards, treats and things as you're achieving your goals that keep you motivated and keep you heading forward.
Truth. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And as always, in all things, be thankful and seek joy. Take care,
people.
Bye.
Bye.